I bring good news from the one who starts a thing and has seen the end before we get started from our end. But I bring bad news to the one who thought he could stop what the Creator started through strikes. Because when the thunder of the Lord strikes, for the devil, the lightning wouldn't be as pleasant as that of a ring light. So it is in this light that I start. Dear graduates, congratulations. You can give yourself a pat on the back or let someone at your back do so for you because you've played your part. Yourself, don't try. The trials didn't give you many trials, but you tried your best. And now the evidence is evident that God handled the rest. I know the degree of challenges you had to go through just to earn a degree. And for some who began with pre-degree, those who saw the struggles just to earn a degree, yourself no agree. Dear graduates, you know what's in your eyes see before you back that BSc. Although not every graduate is single, but that bachelor's degree definitely didn't come so easy. But then I'm questioned with the question, the God who finishes things from the start, so where do we start to say thank you? He who sends evil arrows back to the sender without the use of Zender, he who is not Michael Areta but always has men in his arsenal. Unlike a man, you are united, 3 in 1. You kept our tripartite in unity. We know we can bank on you to echo through the sands of time. Because David, even for exam where they bring German, he stood as our shepherd. When they turned CBT to written, it's written word that says, but the Lord is with me, as a mighty terrible one came through for us, not once, twice, but countless times. Fair, when them increased fair, he interfered in the affair and gave us more than a fair price. Days when we were queuing like we had no idea what we were doing, it was actually daunting to see others shunting, but thankfully we didn't join. Or maybe I should say I didn't join. I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Days of CBT where we see beating, standing under facilitated pavilions. The student union did nothing about it, or maybe the only thing they did was actually tell us, hey, stay on the queue, I'm talking to you. Yourself, reason all those days when we had to use Gary to activate the garrison. I need not say the reason, I mean the Gary has done it already. Reason. The battle they say is not for the faint, but we they see our own for CBT. I mean, when man begin the faint, when others were eating item 7, for some of us, the 7 items on our plates was Gary, sugar, groundnuts, water of course, extra Gary, extra water, and then our spoon of course. When the cost felt like a cost, because what's the cost for a 1 unit cost to be telling me answer all, after all, what the other 3 units costs have demanded. Thank God say when our chicks chickened in, or when we were lean, we leaned on you. When others were on guard, we were on guard. He made everywhere stew, corn add rice on top. No, I won't stop. I'll talk about that brother who was like, Ele, Shele, Bami, Sorok, and she replied, it's not within my reach. Or that's HOD who was holding students in fear. When they ran some checks, they discovered that the ransom he was asking for was give what you have to get what you want. And for some, it was to give a check, if you know what I mean. If not for God's guidance and counsel in your life that helped in the management of your affairs, or dear student of HKE, when you did H, he came in faster than Usain Bolt. You who studied physiotherapy, but despite the therapy you gave yourself, make you fit CEO. Now, only you know say, if God didn't intervene, what would your Israel be saying now? Also for that student of nursing who was nursing herself back to sanity. If not for God, well, insanity was not so far. Education, they say, is the best legacy, but waiting your legacy, the best legacy was not what saw you through. The strength of statistics, if I start, your instincts will let you know that the gravity of the challenges can be plotted on a graph. For the student of chemistry, it was not a mystery care. When the student of pharmacy was told, people from our lineage who study pharmacy end up as a pharmacist. See, for the business administration students who had no business with the mean administration of the department, if not for the timely administration of the Holy Spirit's admonition. Or for the student of accounting, we are aware that sometimes what you were counting wasn't money, but you were accounting for the number of granules in each nylon to determine the one you will buy. For the student of the faculty of law, the challenges didn't put your back on the floor. You chop item 7 with coleslaw. Or the student of plant biology, who if not for Matthew 15:13, every tree my father hath not planted shall be uprooted. You know that you would have been the one experiencing the uprooting because of the challenges that were surprisingly rooting for your falling. Or student of agriculture who cultivated the culture of constantly taking processed maniot esculenta. I mean Gary, by the way. The student of environmental sciences, the science of your environment was mental, or better said, was after your mental health. The words of God's vessel, my God, how great thou art, was the mantra of the student of the Faculty of Art. From the start, because where you're at, we both know that it was not just because of your art for art that kept you there. No, tell me, who are you performing for? If you made history, what international relations would you have? Oh, me, I did not study anatomy, but when you take a microscopic look at anastomy, the anatomy actually is not pleasant because she was eating what she has and not what she needs. Student of CIS, I expect to know that it was beyond the mass communication of information or the dissemination of information, because when the dissemination of your information was done by the dark web, scrap that, by the forces of darkness, were you in the light of that information? It's not Marvel movies, but you know the war you had to fight, civil engineering students, when you were nearing a dead end and wanted to perhaps end things, if not for God who came through. So through it all, guys, we were never alone because it's God we were banking on. He who grants dividends, our boss who disburses funds. No wonder why Timmy was never intimidated. It can't be debated that 100% God saw you through level 100. As a stay light, the reason why he could stay lighted by his word was because of his love. At penultimate, he who holds the pen and has the ultimate power was your guide. At 400 level, you looked for 100 reasons to quit, but couldn't find one because he was the one who had your back. But then you see, the weakness of anyone who witnessed all of this would be to be ungrateful or to not be full of gratitude. So finally, dear finalists, like Apostle Paul, finally, my brethren, or better still, finally, final year brethren, I congratulate you, not just for graduating, but for the levitation that's about to find expression expressly, more than the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. I congratulate you for the gigs that don't bite, but gives delight, for the terabytes of blessings that don't come from an earthly server, but from the reserve of the server of unlimited blessings. I congratulate you for the advancement meant to make your enemies meant, but for you to serve as a monument. Dear graduate, remember this, we are not by name miracle, but we know the entire Jesus who has prepared blissful experiences as we come into this new phase. Congratulations, dear graduates.